What's up, guys? It's your boy Hotshot coming back with another video. In this video, we're going to talk about pre and post trip. Are they necessary? Are they legal? Well, you're going to find out right now. Alright guys, so there's a lot of confusion around the pre-trip, the post-trip, the dually, the semi, but it's simple. It doesn't matter if you're driving a bicycle, if you're in a pickup truck, if you're in a big truck, it's a car, a CMV, according to DMV or DOT, a CMV is a CMV is a CMV. Now, you have to check the same things. You just may or may not check the, you just won't check the air brakes. But you still have your hydraulic brakes, you know, because on a big truck, they're air brakes. Well, on this truck, they're hydraulics. You still have to do your push pressure test. You still have to do your tug test. You still have to do all that. That is still part of your pre-trip. What exactly are you supposed to be looking at in your pre-trip? Well, every morning and every night you are required by law to do a post and pre-trip. Now, the post-trip is where you go over everything and you do the report, whether there's something wrong or not. And if there's something wrong, you need to get it fixed. And once it's fixed, then you sign it. In the pre-trip, you do the same report. You go around, you don't do the report, you go around checking everything. And this is FMCSA section 396. That's the pre-trip section. So in the morning, you just go around and you check everything. You don't have to do the full report unless there was something wrong the night before. Then you have to sign off on it. So the first thing you need to check for is check your service brakes. Check your parking brake, your service brakes, and that is, you have it in park, press your brake for three times and you hold it. This is for hydraulics. If they don't move, you're good. If your pedal goes down, you have a leak and it needs service immediately. That truck cannot move. You as a driver need to render that truck out of service. If you have any brake issues, out of service. And then you need to check your parking brake. You put on your parking brake, put it in gear, see what happens. Now, if you're on level surface, you want to hit the gas because that's what DOT is going to make you do. If you're on downhill, you could get away with it, but uphill, hit the gas. If you just put it in drive and let it go, it may or may not work. But you want to make sure that when you're tested roadside, that's what will pass. And that's what they're going to do. So now you need to check all your steering mechanisms. You check your steering bushings, you check your tie rod ends, you make sure it's greased, and you turn, like you can try to shimmy your wheel, and if you feel play, you have a problem. Check your bushings underneath. Just check, make sure everything's tight and not loose and wiggle. If you can wiggle your tie rods or any of those, then you have a problem and it needs to be addressed. I was going to do it and show everything, but it's just so hard with me by myself. So I'm going to do this and then I may go around, but we'll do it this way for now. Now you need to check all your lights and reflectors. Headlights, tail lights, turn signals, four ways. Make sure all your reflectors work. Now here's one of the biggest misconceptions. If it's there, it must work. That is not the law. The law is one tail light on each side in the back. Brake light, tail light, turn signal, one on each side. You must have a light on the back, marker light, you must have in the middle, you must have a brake, turn, and marker light. And that's usually that center light. It does all three. Then you need to have a marker light in the front. Me, I have 20 marker lights down the side. If one or two's out, it's not a DOT issue. It's a Hotshot ego issue. Let's be real. So, now your turn signals. I see a lot of guys just use the 4-ways. Yes, but no. They run off the same wire, but you want to make sure that there's not something going on. It's not that hard. Just hit the turn signals and walk around the truck. High beam, low beam, turn signals, 4-ways. The only thing you can't test is your backup lights. And you have to have them. But semis, you can either have, they don't have to be wired to the truck. As far as when you put it in reverse, they don't have to come on. They just have to come on. So if you have them on a switch, that's fine too. So now your tires. You need to check your tires with an air gauge. A lot of guys thump them, kick them. I'm telling you regulations. I'm not telling you what I do. But once you do it enough and thump them and kick them, you know what your truck is, what your tires feel like, the sound they make. You gotta check your tires. Your horn must work. You need to honk your horn, make sure it works. Your horn must work. Your windshield wipers must work. And not just windshield wipers. You must have windshield wiper fluid coming out. If there's no fluid in it, that's another one you can fail. You can fail if your windshield wipers washer doesn't work. Okay? Rear, the mirrors. Now you don't need a rear view mirror. You need one on each side. A rear view mirror is not required for the simple fact of you can't see out it anyway. Okay? Now check your coupling devices. You need to check your fifth wheel, your kingpin, your gooseneck, all your wires, your locks, your clamps. Make sure all that's good. If you're in a truck stop, make sure you check the kingpin, because there's ignorant truck drivers with no respect out here that will pull a kingpin. They will pull a kingpin, they'll pull that, they just do. No respect. So, now your wheels and rims, make sure they're not cracked, none of that stuff. You just have to make sure they're not cracked, bent, no illegal welds, none of that. Make sure your emergency equipment is good. You've got to make sure your fire extinguisher's full. You have your triangles. That's all that's required for the emergency equipment. So in a nutshell, that is what you're looking at. That's what you want to go around and check when doing this pre-trip and post-trip. And now, I know nobody does them, but you've got to log it anyway. You must show 10 minutes to 12 minutes. Now, there's not a time restraint for DOT, but you get pulled over, you log for 3 minutes, DOT says, show me this 3-minute pre-trip. What are you going to say? You going to argue with him? Like, you know, and it happens. That's what they've been doing. I haven't heard of it recently, but about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, that's what they were doing. Because they know the games. And unfortunately, they're not here to protect us anymore. That's not what law enforcement is for. That's why it was made. That's why it was introduced. But that's not what they do anymore. And it sucks because I support law enforcement. But I only support about 5% of them, because about 5% of them really care. And you see the ones that care. I've been pulled over, had law enforcement, 3, 4, 5 of them go by me. They don't know what's going on. Then I've had 1 or 2 that stop. That's the ones that care about the public safety. You see me on the side of a highway, or see anybody on the side of a highway, that's what their job's for. But no, that's not what they do. They like to hide in the bushes and just look for stuff to give tickets. But lately, I've seen a lot of officers changing tires. When I wrecked my truck last year, I had one help me fix my truck. He was out there with the pry bar and the hammers. Like, there is good cops, but there's horrible cops. So, that's the pre-trip. what you need to go over. Yes, a post and pre-trip is required per FMCSA. Even though you're a little truck, don't play games, you're still doing big boy stuff. The way I look at it is, most of us have the same license, sometimes more income, same regulations, same paperwork. So why not just do the right thing, make your life easy, and go from there. Now I'm gonna do a little series here. I'm gonna do like what out of service violations are and stuff like that. But this one is just on your pre-trip. So that is what you're checking for when you're doing your pre-trip. You also want to check your glass, make sure it's not broken or cracked or chipped in the line of sight. If you have a little chip on the side of your glass, you're fine, but it cannot be a major crack, break, or chip. So that's that. You guys have any questions, holla at your boy. But like, share, subscribe, hit that ding ding. So appreciate y'all. Man, we're gonna give away a headset. Come on, I need about 60 more, maybe 80 more subscribers. And then we're going for 10K. 10K, I'm doing a huge giveaway. Pooh! I ain't told my wife yet. But, alright guys, like, share, subscribe, hit the ding ding. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, remember, could slow you down. They can't stop me.